So we have to talk about some absolutely breaking news. I'm literally shaking right now with what has just been disclosed by DNI Tulsi Gabbard. She just mentioned in a Twitter post that she's releasing never-before-seen intelligence revealing new evidence of past U.S. government funding for more than 120 biolabs in over 30 countries, including Ukraine. This is verbatim from her post. We're going to go over her video here in a second. But if this is true, which I believe it is, this is confirming what Russia and many others have been trying to present to the UN Security Council for a long time. This is what many people, including clandestine, who have followed for a long time, advocating for this. Many other Anons researching into this, where when Russia presented it, it was strongly denied by the international community. It was written off as a disinformation campaign and a conspiracy theory because there was no evidence, quote unquote. So let's listen to what Tulsi Gabbard has to say because she has less than a couple weeks now. So let's talk about what DNI Tulsi Gabbard says, some new news from what Trump has said. There's a new DNI recommendation and a whole slew of other things, and we'll tie it together. So let's get into it. Let's first watch her video.
After months of searching through intelligence community holdings and files, today I'm releasing new evidence of long-standing U.S. government funding of more than 120 biolabs in over 30 countries. Now, these biolabs include labs in places like Ukraine, which could be at risk of compromise due to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. In fact, the intelligence community had previously warned that a U.S.-funded biolab in Ukraine likely housed dangerous pathogens and remained vulnerable to long-standing threats of Russian attack, seizure, or damage. Now, until now, evidence regarding the full existence and funding of these laboratories had been knowingly withheld from you, the American people. Many of these U.S. government-funded biolabs are currently or have previously engaged in research using hazardous and highly contagious pathogens, and in some cases included dangerous gain-of-function research with very little visibility or oversight. Now, President Trump clearly understands the serious threat dangerous gain-of-function research poses to the American people. And this is why he took decisive action over a year ago. On May 25th, 2025, he signed an executive order to end federal funding of gain-of-function research around the world. Here at ODNI, I issued new guidance to the intelligence community directing increased collection on these laboratories and facilities overseas. And we're already seeing the results of this increased collection. We're learning new details, for example, on clinical trials that are underway at these facilities and that are raising significant ethical, financial, and security concerns regarding the supposed public health initiatives and U.S. national security. Now, despite the obvious potential for catastrophic global impact that research on dangerous pathogens in biolabs can have, politicians and so-called health professionals like Dr. Fauci, as well as entities within the Biden administration's national security team, lied repeatedly to the American people about the existence of U.S.-funded and supported biolabs. Not only did they lie, they threatened those who attempted to expose the truth. So this release today breaks new ground, as the information surrounding the existence, history, locations, and funding of these U.S.-funded biolabs has been intentionally covered up by very powerful people who falsely claimed that these biolabs didn't exist. Now, they accuse anyone who says otherwise to be foreign assets and traitors to America. Now, ODNI will continue working closely with partners across the U.S. government to identify exactly where these labs are and what pathogens they contain to end dangerous gain-of-function research that threatens the health and well-being of the American people and people around the world.
That is absolutely wild. And although she did not say it outright, this is what Russia has been talking about for a long time, where the world is painting Russia as invading Ukraine. But from their point of view, they're trying to stop bioweapon development. The idea that COVID-19 was a bioweapon that was made in a lab and it was released to the world, written off as a conspiracy if you thought it didn't come from bats, and a whole slew of other things. And again, I'm just putting two and two together. But the insinuation here is that there's something more nefarious going on behind the scenes with this gain-of-function research backed by the deep state that's embedded within the U.S. And the mainstream media and the world, the international scientific quote-unquote community is hiding this. This is what DNI Tulsi Gabbard is implying here. I want to read what Clandestine had to say about this because he has been a big proponent of this for the last 4 years. He did a lot of research, and this is how I first got into it, knowing that Russia was fighting for something bigger that the world is brushing off as being some kind of territorial invasion. But really, they were trying to get to the bottom of certain terrorist activities that were deeply embedded within the Ukrainian country. And again, this is not to say that the Ukrainian people are bad, but there was influence there, and there was something going on in certain parts of that country. And that's what Russia had mentioned when they said they were going in there for a special military operation. Clandestine here says, breaking news, DNI Gabbard is releasing new evidence about U.S.-funded biolabs in Ukraine and calls out the Biden administration and complicit media for covering all of this up and attacking and threatening those who tried to expose this, aka me. The highest-ranking U.S. intelligence official just confirmed that the entire system went out of their way to cover up U.S.-funded biolabs around the world. In other words, Tulsi just confirmed that the U.S. government, the mainstream media, and powerful NGOs tried to destroy me to cover up their biological weapon production. I spent the last 4 years in hell, was relentlessly smeared by global media, having the entire world call me a crazy conspiracy theorist / foreign asset. And I turned out to be correct. I sniffed out where nefarious NGOs were developing biological weapons with U.S. taxpayer money, and the global establishment tried to stop me. They failed. Wild stuff. I'm pretty sure I was a catalyst that changed the world. Now, if you remember, back in March of 2022, Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov, the head of Russia's radiological, chemical, and biological defense troops, led Russia's presentation at a UN Security Council session in March of 2022. He presented captured documents alleging that the U.S. and Ukraine were operating military biolabs to develop biological and ethnic weapons. He claimed that the U.S. Pentagon-funded labs were modifying pathogens like anthrax and plague. He alleged that the migratory birds and bats were being used to covertly spread deadly diseases into Russian territory. Remember, this was an official presentation in front of the UN Security Council. And what happened? The whole world, the scientific community said, hey, that's Russian disinformation. Hey, there's no evidence of that. They shooed him away in front of an official UN presentation. They rejected these claims based on the absence of proof, scientific impossibility, routine public health labs, lack of global support. So all these things, I can go on and on, but they rejected him. And I remember covering this or reading about it in Telegram when I was going through a lot of people that I used to follow back around 2023, Clandestine being one of them. But you can actually go and see his presentation, or at least the PowerPoints of it, meaning the briefing by the Chief of Nuclear, Chemical, and Biological Protection Troops, Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov. He has PowerPoint presentations that outline specifically what the pathogens, habits, all these things, who was involved. He names certain people. He names institutions. You can see the PowerPoint presentation here. He names certain people. And I remember in certain presentations, he even has high-level names. Biden, Obama, Hillary, many of these same deep state people that many of us as white hats, as Anons, have been researching. And again, this was back in March 2022. And although it was reported on that when Russia first said that there was claims of U.S.-backed biological weapon plot at the UN, this was written off. But look at what DNI Tulsi Gabbard is saying. She is the Director of National Intelligence, and many of us have been saying before the last 30 days, this month of June, she's going to have D class. And in her official press release, she's saying that all of the evidence can be found here. She put declassified evidence. And again, I'm just opening this up myself, but it looks like she has tons of PowerPoint presentations. She's connecting certain networks. And I haven't even gotten all the way through it yet, but I'm just seeing it for the first time as I'm showing it to you guys. But this is absolutely huge. And that's interesting because it comes at a time where President Trump just announced less than a day ago that he's going to nominate the former chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and the former head of a prominent law firm, a current U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, to be the next director of national intelligence and to serve his cabinet. Now remember, Pulte was acting DNI, but right now, this was the play the whole time. And from a legal standpoint of him getting elected, Trump has all the cards right now. Either they wait 210 days so that Pulte can do his work, who is a Trump pick, or if they don't like him, they have to confirm this guy, which is also a Trump pick. They're between a rock and a hard place. And so let's see what this guy does, but this is just breaking. What's absolutely crazy to me right now is the speed for which all the conspiracy stuff, all the stuff that people have been written off and taken down, censored for years and years, is coming to light right now as being truth. And although it's slow in some sense, there's something going on behind the scenes. There's an actual operation, a white hat operation. It's being projected outwardly into the public realm right now. It's not just conspiracy. It's not somebody on some deep dark forum talking about it. This is the DNI director saying explicitly something that was written off as crazy conspiracy talk. Now let's see what comes out of it. But I just want to share with you guys this breaking news. More to come, obviously. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Also, if you guys want to support me, you guys know I am listener support. I'm trying to reach our goal for this month. If you guys want to help me out, all the information is down below in the link at givesendgo.com/chrisyoonyt. Also have PayPal, Zelle, Venmo. Love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.